They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs ship your job to China. Not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap labors. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flag wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs feed you lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
China is so smart. They decided to tell Donald Trump with an increase of 145 tariff, go F yourself. Because they decided to say, okay, you want to raise our tariffs like that? No problem. Every American company is going to feel it because now we're going to tell every American citizen how to buy directly from us, where they will get an 80% discount basically, because everyone knows you buy from China is extremely cheap and then they sell it for so much money, like the Bergen bag, a luxury product. They do their Bergen bag. It costs us $3,800. They do it for $1,000. Do you see what I'm saying? And you don't pay any tariffs under $800. They're currently going right now in TikTok showing everyone how to reach out to the manufacturers, how to decide what product you want, how much this, how much that. They're telling everything so that Donald Trump can feel it and companies in America can feel it, which, let me tell you, it's genius. Completely genius. So if you want to make sure and you want to buy products directly from them and get 80% off, just go into TikTok and search it. I usually get my products from Alibaba.com. And let me tell you, it's the same thing from China. Same discount. What do you guys think about this? About China's decision to retaliate in this way? What do you guys think?
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
He literally has no idea what the fuck he's doing. And if you watch him and you see him say it like that, you know he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Raising the tariffs on China to 125%, and people are like, yeah, go Daddy Trump. China's going to be paying us Americans. Yeah. Dude, we're going to end up paying for that. More, the groceries, the goods, the electronics, all the shit that was affordable is now going to go up, and China doesn't care. Do we forget that China can literally trade with the rest of the world and fuck us? Like, we don't... Who are we? It's ridiculous. He doesn't know what he's doing. If you watch that clip and you're like, yep, he knows what he's doing, you're an idiot. Because you don't have to tell the whole country, I know what I'm doing. I know what the hell I'm doing. I know the best things. You don't have to say those things if you truly do know. That pause on all the other tariffs for 90 days is not a genius move. Then he knows what he's doing, playing 3D, 4D, 5D chess. It's because he panicked because the market's going down. Inflation is still squeezing everyone. And it's quite literally like setting fire to your own kitchen and then pausing for a second to go grab a bigger lighter. And look, businesses can't plan around this. Small companies, manufacturers, importers, they can't keep going back and forth. They can't plan with this much chaos. So yeah, we're taxing ourselves, acting like it's punishment to China.
Did you hear about what Amazon did in response to Donald Trump setting a higher tariff on China? Amazon Incorporated has canceled orders for multiple products made in China and other Asian countries, according to a document reviewed by Bloomberg and people familiar with the matter, suggesting the company is reducing its exposure to tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. Yes, China may be one of the strongest markets around the world, but that is one of the strongest markets around the world. We are left unchallenged when it comes to being the consumer of this world. In other words, your economy cannot function without this consumer. And now millions of products that China typically exports to other companies and other countries around the world have been put to a stop. How many millions of products every day does China ship around the world, especially to the United States? Because on average, Amazon ships over 20 million products a day, 75% of which come directly from China. And still you think China has the upper hand? You got to stop betting against your president. You got to stop betting against this individual who is finally standing up to these bullies that are not trading fairly. Because at this very moment, China does not hold leverage over the United States. The United States carries all the leverage over China and any others that try to retaliate against us.
So I'm in China right now, in the middle of this trade war. I've got 2 weeks left on my job assignment, and I want so badly to interview the locals and ask them how they feel about Trump and how they feel about the tariffs. But due to the nature of my job and the sensitivity of politics, I'm discouraged from discussing those kinds of things. But I have heard some talk, heard a few people say some things. I've gotten some opinions. I've asked, like, what do they think? Like, tell me, what do the Chinese make of all of this? And the general consensus that I've heard is that Trump is a joke, which I think most countries view us that way. The United States has become a laughing stock to the rest of the world. Nobody's looking at us going, wow, strong country, strong leader, amazing. No, we're a joke. We're the butt of the joke. And they don't seem terribly worried about these tariffs either. They just kind of scoff. Because China was doing just fine before the US. They'll continue to do just fine. Like, the arrogance of Americans, well, the patriotic ones, and the arrogance of Trump supporters to think that they can just flex on countries that existed, hundreds, thousands of years before ours, as if we somehow rule the world. It's so ridiculous. So if things get bad enough in the US, I'm happy to know I always have more job opportunities back here. Options are nice.
Trump is a traitor. He's betrayed this country. He's betrayed our government, and he's betrayed our people. He's betrayed our allies. He's sold us out. He's a criminal. Get him out now. Grow a spine, Congress.
All this time, he was never talking to you.
We're making a fortune with tariffs. $2 billion a day. Do you believe it? I was told $2 billion a day.
He said that yesterday at a dinner. And then today we find out a video leaks from the White House, and he says,
It's actually an individual. He made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. He's in financials.
because this whole time, he was never talking to you. At his rallies, he'd always say, you're going to have so much money, you won't know what to do with it. But he wasn't talking to you. That $2 billion isn't even going into the government. It's going into one man's pocket. He was never talking to you. How does that feel? Like you were having a conversation with somebody and come to find out the entire time they were talking to the person standing behind you, not actually you. He was literally looking into a camera because he was talking to the billionaires that he was going to make richer. And now he has these billionaires in his office bragging about how he made them richer off of your pain and suffering. You can't feed your kids? Who cares? They're richer. You can't send your kids to school? Who cares? They're richer. Your lights can't stay on? Who cares? They're richer. They don't care. He's literally bragging about making $2 billion in one day because of these tariffs, but then has made it very clear that these tariffs and this cycle up and down is never going to end because he's constantly making money.
What Trump did is place tariffs on Chinese imports. By the time the imports get here, China's been paid for the stuff. Maybe they get net 120 terms, right? But in a sense, China has already transacted. The American company who brings the goods in pays the tariffs.
Really?
You're kidding right now.
No, I thought he said he was raising the tariffs by 50 to 100% for Chinese imports.
The tariffs are paid by the company that does the importing. So if you want to build a building in the U.S. and you import Chinese steel, you pay China for the steel, you pay the U.S. government the tariff. This is why it's inflationary. Economists have looked at Trump's tariff proposal and said it would make stuff more expensive for Americans by adding the cost of the tariffs to the total cost of production. So that's the way tariffs work. A lot of people don't seem to know how tariffs work, which is sad because this is how people end up getting sucked into Trump's vortex. He says something that sounds good. I'm going to punish China with tariffs.
Yeah.
In this case, that sounds good. Chinese tariffs. They're paid by the American companies.
Wow.
That's why it's so damaging.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Send me this part of the
No, I
conversation.
will. I genuinely had no idea. I thought China was paying those.
Yep. No, China's not paying them.
Yeah, I thought they were, though.
They're not, yeah.
So why would he do that? I'm confused.
You'd have to ask him.